Have you ever stopped and wondered why we can say smartest, but intelligentist just sounds wrong? Well, today we are going to crack that exact grammar code. We're going to figure out the super simple rule for these long adjectives. So look at this. He is the smartest. Yeah, sounds perfect. No problem there. But he is the intelligentist? It just feels wrong, doesn't it? And you're right, it is. This is one of those things that trips a lot of people up. But trust me, the rule behind it is way simpler than you think.
And that's the big question, right? Why does a short little word like smart get to just add est on the end, but a longer word like intelligent needs a whole different approach? Okay, let's break this down.
All right, the answer starts with something we call long adjectives. And really, all that means is they're describing words with two or more syllables. But what's really cool is why they get this special treatment. Think about it. Saying intelligentist is it's a mouthful. It's clunky. So the English language found a much more elegant way to do it. And once you start looking for them, you'll see these kinds of words are absolutely everywhere. I mean, we use words like intelligent, comfortable, and beautiful all the time, right? They're how we add detail and color to, well, everything. And these are the ones that just can't take that simple est ending.
So what's the solution? It's actually incredibly simple. Here's the magic formula. For these longer adjectives, you just put the words the most right in front of them. That's it. No changing the word itself, no weird endings, just the most.
Let's actually build a sentence with this. It's like putting together Legos. Step 1, start with your subject, she. Step 2, add the verb, is. Now here come our magic words, the most. Pop in your long adjective, intelligent, and then just finish the thought, student in the class. And boom, she is the most intelligent student in the class. See, it's simple, it's logical, it just works.
Okay, so we've got the rule down. Now let's see how it actually works in real sentences, starting with just your basic positive statements.
Just listen to the rhythm in these examples. This hotel is the most comfortable in the city. That was the most exciting movie I've ever seen. See that pattern? That course structure, the most plus the adjective, it's always there. It's a really consistent and reliable rule.
All right, that's for positive statements, but what if you want to say the opposite? Well, the good news is the rule barely changes at all. To make these negative, all you have to do is slide the word not right in after the verb. The rest of the formula? It stays exactly the same. This is not the most expensive restaurant. She is not the most patient teacher. See? The main rule is still there, which makes this super easy to remember. Okay, we've done statements, positive and negative. Now let's see how we can flip these into questions.
And this is another really simple trick. To turn a statement into a question, you just swap the subject and the verb. So instead of saying, she is, you ask, is she the most talented student? Instead of, these shoes are, you ask, are these shoes the most comfortable you own? It's just a simple flip.
And of course, giving the short answers is just as easy. You don't have to repeat the whole long phrase. A simple, yes, she is, or no, they aren't, is all you need. But, sometimes a simple yes or no just doesn't cut it. What if you need more information? Well, that's where our WH questions come in.
And here's the thing. Our the most phrase fits perfectly inside these bigger questions. You can ask, who is the most creative person? What is the most difficult subject? Or which city is the most beautiful? This little structure is so versatile for getting the exact information you want. Okay, we've gone over all the rules, but now let's talk about how to avoid the really common mistakes. Because honestly, knowing the traps is half the battle. This is how you get it right every single time. All right, here it is. Trap number 1. This is the big one we started with. The temptation to just stick est on the end of a long word it's really strong, but you gotta resist. It's never, ever beautifulest. It is always the most beautiful. Seeing it right next to the wrong version like this really helps lock it into your brain. And here's the other big one. Forgetting that tiny little word, the. Saying he is most intelligent just sounds incomplete, and it is. That word the is so important because it signals that he is the one and only at the very top. He is the most intelligent. You can't leave it out. So think of this as your personal cheat sheet.
You can just scan down the list and see how the pattern works every single time. Intelligent becomes the most intelligent. Responsible becomes the most responsible. It's a rock-solid rule you can always count on.
Okay, theory is one thing, but practice is where the stuff really sticks. We've walked through all the rules and examples. Now it's your turn to actually use what you've learned. Let's do a couple together. Okay, first one. Take a look at this sentence. This is the movie I've ever watched. How would you fill in that blank using one of our long adjectives? You could say the most interesting, the most exciting, maybe the most beautiful. Any of those works perfectly. All right, ready for another one? This time we're going to switch it up. Here's a statement. She is the most responsible teacher in the school. Now, how would you turn that into a yes or no question? Remember that simple swap we talked about? Got it? The question is she the most responsible teacher in the school?
Awesome! You've practiced the mechanics. Now it's time for the final challenge. This is where you go from just knowing the rule to really owning it.
So here is your mission, should you choose to accept it. I want you to create 3 sentences that describe your world using the most structure. One about a person, one about a place, and one about experience. Because at the end of the day, grammar isn't just about dusty rules in a book. It's the tool we use to talk about what's the most important, the most beautiful, and the most interesting, not just in a sentence, but in our own lives.